please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
On this episode of MythBusters, Adam and Jamie go blind and then get blind drunk.
Who are you calling drunk, over?
As they test an intoxicating car caper from Hollywood. Can a blind person really drive without crashing?
We've got an actual blind person driving the car.
Then Carrie, Tori, and Grant take a swing at a myth at a golf trilogy. Can your shoes turn you into a lightning magnet? Is a tree really an impenetrable obstacle?
Fire it, Will!
And a la Caddyshack.
Okay, you want to play rough, little gopher?
Can an underground explosion really sink a pot?
Boom, boom.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
I can't believe that this is my job.
And Jamie Heineman.
That's kind of intense.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Oh!
Joining them,
We killed the ninja!
Tori Belleci,
All right, what's the plan?
Grant Imahara,
We're gonna be meat waffles, man.
and Carrie Byron.
Explosives and electricity. Woo!
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. Fasten your seatbelts because blind driving peels out first.
What are you doing?
I'm driving blind.
Why?
Because it's our next myth.
Oh, you mean like in The Scent of a Woman?
It's like you're freaking psychic. That's awesome. Yes, where Al Pacino's character, who is blind, is able to drive a sports car by being given instructions from his passenger. That's what we're going to test.
Hooah!
In Scent of a Woman, a blind driver takes a sports car for a high-speed spin. By responding to turn-by-turn instructions from his terrified, sighted passenger, they pull off the seemingly impossible. But can such teamwork really work?
I assume you have a plan.
I do, and it's a pretty simple one. I figure we need a blindfold, a car, and a closed course to drive on. I'll put on the blindfold and go wherever you tell me.
And can we take turns?
Absolutely, I think it's imperative that we both have a crack at it.
So let's get cracking. To try to recreate this highly hazardous driving technique in the real world, the guys are using a pedestrian-free zone.
The lovely people at the Alameda County Sheriff's Emergency Vehicle Operations Center have lent us their driving course. It is a blank slate. I'm going to set up a whole bunch of cones that will create our city streets for blind driving.
Jamie is going to play the blind driver first, so Adam sets up the course alone. This means that the mustachioed maestro won't have the advantage of knowing its twists and turns.
In setting up the course for our blind driver, I've tried to add all the obstacles that we see in the movie. So I'm starting out with a nice long get your bearings kind of straightaway. That also includes a sharp left-hand turn. Right after that, I've got a second sharp left-hand turn. And I've included an obstacle for Jamie to swerve around. This ought to be all the challenges we need for our blind driver.
And that just leaves the car, which for this test comes complete with in-car cameras, a driving instructor called Derek, and a crucial safety feature.
This car is specially rigged with controls so that he can hit his own set of brakes and stop the car in case I get frisky on him. That's going to be tricky.
You feeling ready, champ?
Yeah, let's do it.
Just like in the movie, Jamie will be totally in the dark, relying solely on Adam's directions.
All right, Jamie, go forward. Just get your bearings. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the left. That's good.
Cruising at an easy pace down the straightaway, they come to their first bend in the road.
Okay, there's a turn coming up to the left. Excellent.
Ain't it, with no cones down.
Straighten it out, straighten it out. Okay, pick up the speed. Let's pick up the speed.
But not for long.
Keep going, keep going. To the right, to the right, to the right. Now hard to the left. To the right, to the right, more to the right.
Soon their drive turns into a game of Cone Pac-Man.
More to the right. Okay, to the left, hard to the left. And then to the right. Beautiful. Okay, stop. New navigator.
Like a couple of out-of-sync co-drivers, Adam blamed Jamie.
His ability to correct on the fly on the straightaways was pretty poor, even up to and including his ability to know left from right at times.
And Jamie blamed Adam.
You know, more is like what? You know, it's easy to get confused or not do something enough or too little.
If the guys don't begin to work as one, they're finished.
So Grant, what's with the sweater? Did you retire?
No, I'm not retiring yet. I'm merely appropriately dressed for our next series of myths.
Is the next series of myths about fashion disasters?
No. With over 60 million golfers around the world, it's no surprise the website's been inundated with requests to do myths about golf. The first one is that a tree is 90% air.
Yeah, I've heard that one. And a lot of golfers say if your ball gets stuck behind a tree, instead of shooting around the tree, it's better to shoot through it because you have a 90% chance of getting through because it's 90% air.
Great. So all we need is a bucket of balls, some golf clubs, camp out behind a tree, see how many we hit through.
Sounds good to me.
From a distance, a tree may look like a solid, impenetrable object, but up close, there's a huge amount of space between its leaves. So huge that some golfers think you have a 90% chance of swinging clean through. To find out if this myth is all hot air, Team Tee-Off travels to one of the most famous golf courses in the world.
All right, let's do this.
Starting to feel a little underdressed. Where better to come than world-famous Pebble Beach? I mean, this is where Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods play, and now they're going to let us play?
Yeah, I'm not sure they've seen the show, but with a world-class golf course, check. Some top-rate golf outfits, check. Now, the team just needs a tree. And this should do.
You know, the tree that we picked, it's a very average tree, and it's the kind of tree that you would try to play through, because when you look at it, you see that there is enough light, so you're thinking, I could get through this and actually play through to the next hole.
So, what's the plan, Tiger?
So to begin our initial research into this myth, we're each going to hit 10 golf balls into the tree and see if we can make it through.
And if 9 of those 10 do sail through, it's myth confirmed. Having played golf since high school, Tori's going to tee off first.
The thing is I find myself in this situation quite often when I'm playing golf.
First shot went like a shot, straight through the foliage.
Look at that.
Nice one.
See, normally I would have to shoot out into the fairway.
One for one.
I just cut the corner.
But shot 2 stops dead in its tracks.
I'm gonna have to say that one didn't make it through the tree.
So it's 1 apiece after 2. And after a montage of the other 8 balls, what's the final score?
So far, the score is 6 made it through, 2 went wacky, and 2 came back at us.
In other words, for Tori, the tree was 60% air. Can Carrie do any better?
So you want to stand there?
No.
Carrie quickly learns that in golf, no matter how bad your last shot was,
Oh! God.
your worst is yet to come.
Oh, no.
Of Carrie's 10, only 1 ball went towards the tree, and that was along the ground. But she's still better than Grant.
You're right, one.
Yeah, Grant.
In golf speak, swinging and missing the ball is known as a whiff. So, his aim positively stinks.
Maybe you should take up tennis.
So far, our threesome has dug up plenty of dirt, but nearing a conclusion, they ain't.
Okay, well, this was not very scientific. Out of 30 balls, how many of them actually counted?
Yeah, not many. You know, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get these balls to go at a consistent speed, and we're gonna need to aim it at the tree, so that way we get a good test.
The team had better get a grip. To solve this myth, they still have a fair way to go. Soon, the team uncovers an enlightening life-or-death fact about golf. And later, Jamie drives not just blind, but also blind drunk.
Floor it.
Yes, right. Buckle up, because Adam and Jamie are on a movie-inspired collision course. Apparently, a few simple instructions and a blind person can drive with ease. So far, on a closed track with Jamie steering blindfolded and Adam navigating,
Now, hard to the left.
it was a mess of miscommunication.
Okay, to the left, hard to the left. And then to the right. Okay, stop.
Now, to swap places. Driving gear on.
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
They start out good,
Doing good. Doing good.
but it's not long before things go bad.
Brake hard left. Too hard. Straighten it out.
If they were on a real street, Adam would now be up over the sidewalk
Hard left. Straighten it out. More.
and into the foyer of an office building.
Right. Left. Okay, stop.
Hey, that was great.
Was it?
Man, you nailed that. Every single one of them.
The blind driver theory is looking like it's on the road to being busted. But the guys did confirm one thing. There's no I in team.
This is all about teamwork. It's not about the driver or the navigator. It's about how both of them are working together. They really have to get in sync for this to work.
So, shall we take it to the max?
We really need a blind guy. I totally agree. No one will believe this is plausible until we get an actual blind guy in the driver's seat.
One of the most frustrating situations you can get in the sometimes infuriating game of golf is getting stuck behind a tree. To swing you out of the jungle,
Nice.
the team has been testing the myth that when blocked by a tree, you should try to shoot right through it.
I'm gonna have to say that one didn't make it through the tree.
The theory is that although a tree looks solid, 90% of its volume is air, meaning a ball will sail through 90% of the time. But so far, their golfing skills have been so bad that testing the myth has been impossible. That means they're going to need a plan B.
I know, it's pretty obvious. In order to test this properly, we're gonna have to take ourselves out of the equation, which means only one thing.
We're getting Tiger Woods?
No, better! We're gonna build a robot! We're gonna build a machine that fires balls at the same speed and angle as a professional golfer. Then we shoot a really big sample size, like 100 balls, and see if they go through the tree 90% of the time.
What is it with you and these robots?
Using compressed air, Grant hopes to shoot balls through the barrel at the same velocity as a proficient human golfer. And that's something they figured out earlier. Before they left Pebble Beach, the team met pro golfer Laird Small to precisely analyze his swing.
I do, I'm Tori.
Tori, welcome to Spyglass Hill and Pebble Beach. Glad you're here.
Using the high-speed camera, they determined that when ball leaves club, it does so at around 150 miles an hour. So that's what Grant's aiming for.
It makes it look so easy.
Well, he is the pro. We don't want it to be superhuman to give it some advantage at getting through the tree.
Time to test its oomph. Dialed in at 40 PSI.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
And what do you know? The ball shot out at 150 miles per hour, just like the real deal.
Now we know how to make foam cylinders.
Armed with their machine and a serious amount of balls, the team heads back to the course for the 90% Air Invitational.
Well, we want to see how the tree affects the distance of the ball. So we're going to shoot 100 balls without a tree in the way and 100 balls with the tree in the way and see how far they go.
All right, Will.
3, 2, 1.
Perfect drive. You're on the green.
Not missing a single shot, Grant's machine skips years of aggravation trying to perfect the complexities of the backswing, downswing, and follow-through.
Last ball, 100.
All right. Your cannon's shooting like a real golfer.
A little hook to the left.
A little slice to the right.
Their control test is complete. Without the tree impeding their flight, most of the yellow balls landed 500 feet away. Now to see how far they go with the tree in the way. This time, they're using pink balls.
So for this myth, which is that the tree is 90% air, what we'll be looking for is 90 of the pink balls will be at the same distance as the yellow balls.
But there's a twist. Having assessed his competition from the sidelines, Tori is also going to pit himself against Grant's robot using blue balls. So, what are his chances?
Come on, it's Grant's robot. It's got consistency. Who can make that exact? I mean, I don't really think that Tori has a chance.
There's only one way to find out.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
It's man against machine in the ultimate golfing challenge. Each are firing 100 balls into the tree, but how many will sail clean through? Will it be the 90% that this myth needs?
That's 100 balls. Test complete. Oh my God.
Now to tally up who won, Tori, the machine, or the tree. By counting the pink and blue balls that made it into the same range as the yellow, they can calculate the percentage that were unimpeded by the tree.
27, so
27 balls made it through the tree.
27%.
24% of the pink.
Wow.
So about, well, that's about a quarter of the balls made it through. That's not 90% air right there.
No, it's not.
With such a low percentage of balls making it through the tree, for proponents of the myth, Carrie's got some bad news.
Now, the myth says that the tree's 90% air. That should be 90% of the balls. That was only 25% of the balls. That means this myth is busted.
Hate to say it, but I beat the machine.
He did.
You beat the machine.
You beat the machine. You're better than a robot.
Later, the team tries an explosive method of sinking a putt. And
Coming up on MythBusters, I'm being chased by a blind man driving a car.
Adam and Janie are testing the myth that a blind person can drive a vehicle without crashing if they're told where to go by a sighted person. All you need is a system.
Look, you grab me by the waist. If you want me to turn right, you squeeze on the right.
Doing good.
Having already taken this theory for a test drive, they set a new standard in reckless driving. Now, they're shifting it into high gear.
We realize
That's not enough. We need an actual blind person behind the wheel of the car. And more than that, we need to raise the stakes. Close course isn't good enough. We need city streets.
Safely away from inhabited neighborhoods, the site for their trial is an abandoned military base.
This location is amazing. They are residential streets, and they're totally abandoned, and I gotta tell you, it's creepy as heck. It really is post-apocalyptic, and I'm expecting a zombie horde to come crawling out of a basement at any moment.
Nice view. Just like home.
Not only have they found the ideal location, but also the ideal driver, Jerry.
Jamie, howdy.
Glad to meet you.
Hey, man, good to meet you.
So you're here to do a little driving for us, I understand.
I certainly am.
Well, there are different kinds of blindness. There's legally blind, as per the definition, and then there's can't see a darn thing blind. What are you?
No light, no nothing.
That's perfect. Are you ready to drive?
Hoo-yah!
Jerry is one gutsy guy, and he needs to be, because his route through the burbs is full of twists and turns.
We start out with a nice straightaway, easing into a little bit of a curve. Then a hard right-hand turn. And an obstacle just like yesterday. But we're not done. One more right-hand turn before we get home, and we've got to finish off by parking in the driveway. That's our course.
It's like it's the blind leading the bald now, isn't it?
Yeah, there we
Very
go.
funny.
You have fun now.
Up next, we have a real shocker of a myth.
That's right. This one involves thunderbolts and lightning. Very, very frightening. Now, the myth is that if you're playing a round of golf in a thunderstorm and you're wearing metal cleats, you're more likely to get hit by lightning.
We know playing golf in a thunderstorm is seriously dangerous, but this myth is not about holding a club in the air or a golf umbrella. That's obviously a bad idea. This is about whether the metal cleats in the bottom of your shoes actually attract the lightning.
This myth isn't out of thin air. Golfers are sometimes struck by lightning because it's attracted to their highly conductive metal clubs. But could metal cleats on their shoes also be enough to attract a bolt from the blue?
All right, well, this myth is a little problematic. First of all, not many lightning storms this time of year. And secondly, it's just too dangerous to film in one.
Yeah, and the chances are the camera crew would be the first to get hit, and we don't want that to happen, do we?
Agreed. So to keep all of us safe, let's build 2 ballistic gel dummies with the same electrical resistance as a person. We'll put regular plastic cleats on one and metal cleats on the other and see which gets hit by lightning.
All right, well, for the lightning, we should go to an electric company that has a test facility. This way we have a controlled environment. We can put our ballistic golfers wherever we want them, and then we can see if we can fry them with one of these lightning bolts.
Good ideas.
To explore this high-voltage theory, Tori gets started by modifying a pair of mannequins.
Ballistic gel golfer. Will lightning be attracted to your golf cleats?
For the later tests, it's crucial that these golfer stand-ins have the same electrical properties as the human body. And filling them with a special ballistics gel should do just that.
The ballistics gel is going to give us the same kind of resistance to electricity as the human body.
He's a unicorn.
When they're set, they head out to the links in search of lightning. The PG&E Technology Center is one of the MythBusters' favorite playing grounds. But even though from the outside it looks like a giant golf ball, there's not a fair way to be found. First up, Carrie gets the lightning lowdown.
How does this simulate lightning?
This uses a generator back in the shed back there and creates very, very high voltage electricity that comes through a ball over there and it goes to the ground.
Because lightning is no laughing matter, here's an important safety message.
Even our crews who are specially trained to work in extremely hazardous conditions know that when the lightning's coming, they need to seek shelter immediately, and everybody else should do the same thing.
This is our lightning source, so we need to set up our golfers equidistant from this source.
And then we dress our golfer dummies, one with plastic cleats, one with metal cleats, and see where the lightning strikes.
This is going to be fun.
First, they need to lay out some groundwork.
So what we're trying to do here is simulate a golf course. That's why we have this. It's a copper plane, and we have a clamp. We're going to connect the clamp to the copper plane, and that's going to be connected to the ground of the facility. And that will give us that electrical earth simulation that we need to conduct this test.
Then, because there's nothing like the feel of fresh green turf underfoot, they lay out some sod.
It's a golf course. Sweet.
Next,
You guys got any power around here?
Tori removes the tops of the dummies' heads and soles of their feet, so when the lightning strikes, it will have a clear path to the ground. Time to get kitted up in appropriate attire.
We want to give this myth the best possible chance of working, so we have found some leather-soled shoes with metal cleats. It's going to give us the best conduction path. Now, to be a really good comparison, we have our modern rubber-soled shoes with plastic cleats.
And all laced up, they're ready to hit the green.
Wow.
All right.
That's a well-attired golfer.
Yeah, you know, I've never seen a golfer with just golf shoes. That would freak me out.
Finally, they place both golfers the exact same distance from the lightning source.
And this guy is at 46.5.
Yeah!
Great.
Perfect's good enough for me.
Oh no, it's starting to rain. Who will be struck out of the game first? Next, Team Thunderclap conduct the ultimate golf demonstration. And the guys shift the blind driving myth into high gear.
35 miles an hour.
Please, don't try anything you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
Can a totally blind person drive a car without getting into a wreck? The theory is yes, if they do it as a two-man team with a sighted person navigating. And right here, right now, it's time to put that theory to the test.
Well, Jamie is just about to get in the back seat while he lets Jerry control everything to do with the car. Jerry's 100% blind, and that means the stakes here are pretty high. And if I had to make a prediction, I think there might be some curbage on this trip.
Well, with those words of wisdom, it's go time.
Jamie and Jerry, are you guys ready to go?
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, we're all set.
Okay, we'll wait for you. On your mark, go ahead.
I just let the brake go and see we'll start to roll. Cool, that's perfect.
Jamie's strategy is to start off nice and easy.
That's perfect. I think the trick here is going to be to work incrementally. We're going to start slow and gradually build